Inshallah, we're going to talk about circulatory system and the blood circulation. So we'll start with this video to explain the heart and the blood circulation. Let's start with from the beginning.
Veins are blood vessels containing blood flowing to the heart.
It's too low. What you see in front of you is the heart. Heart is the fist size muscle. It's in the same size of your fist, and it's pumping all the time. The number of heartbeats in one day for normal person is about 100,000 beats per day for each day. And in the heart is connected to blood vessels, as you see. The blood vessels that will carry blood away from the heart, like this one here and this one here, is called arteries. So any blood vessel that will carry blood away from the heart, it's artery. And the blood vessel that will carry blood to the heart, it's vein. So we have arteries carry blood away from the heart, and we have veins, blood vessels that will carry blood to the heart. So both of them are blood vessels, but we differentiate between them. Arteries carry the blood away from the heart, veins, blood vessels carry the blood to the heart.
Veins are blood vessels.
That's it. It started with veins. Veins, like this, what? Veins are blood vessels that will
Mister,
carry blood
can
to the
you
heart.
send this video in the chat to see it? Because the sound stop because my internet.
I
Send
can't.
it
You
in the
can.
chat, then I see it. Yes, because this is YouTube, and YouTube is very easy. Just send the link and I will see it.
Okay, I will send you the link, but you have to bear with me here because I'm going to explain on the video. Later, I can send you the link. Not right now. Not in the session. By the end of the session, just remember me. I will send you the link. So we have veins
Okay.
carry blood to the heart. All of this carry the blood to the heart. So all of them are veins. So any blood vessel carry blood to the heart is called vein.
Containing blood flowing to the heart, while arteries.
Okay, and this called arteries. This is artery and this artery. This artery is split into two. This is called arteries because they carry blood away from the heart. So blood vessels containing blood flowing from the heart is called arteries. But veins, blood vessels containing blood flowing to the heart, coming to the heart are veins. Away from the heart, like this one, it's called arteries.
Have blood flowing from the heart. The blue is represented.
We have a blue color and red color. The blue color represents the blood poor in oxygen. It's called deoxygenated blood. The blue color represents deoxygenated blood or blood poor in oxygen. The red one represents blood rich in oxygen. Represent blood rich in oxygen. We call it oxygenated blood. So the red color in the blood vessels or the red blood generally here represent blood rich in oxygen, oxygenated blood. The blue blood, it represents the deoxygenated blood or blood rich in carbon dioxide and poor in oxygen and poor in oxygen. This is the blue one.
Representative of blood vessels containing deoxygenated blood, while the red blood vessels have oxygenated blood fresh from the lungs. Now, let's follow the path of the blood through the heart.
Right now, we finished talking about the heart. Now we'll see the path of the blood through the heart and the body. Generally, the blood consists of 4 chambers, 4 rooms, and 4 valves. 4 rooms and 4 valves. Here to the top, it's called atrium. The plural is atria. This part is the right part. This is near to your right hand. And this is near to your left hand. This is the left part of your heart, and this is the right part of your heart. This is the left, and this is the right part of your heart.
Like
So,
the right atrium and left atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle.
bravo. So the top chambers is called atrium and atrium. Right atrium, left atrium. The plural of the word atrium is atria. And ventricle, this is right ventricle and this is left ventricle. And the plural of the word ventricle is ventricles. You add S, normal one. But atrium, singular, plural, atria, with A in the end, not M. Let's continue.
The superior vena cava receives blood.
We have here vena cava, superior and inferior. Both of them are two veins. Will carry blood from all body parts. This superior vena cava will carry the blood from the upper part of your body, from the arms and the brain and the neck to your heart. This is called superior vena cava. If you go down here, you will find inferior. This one below here is called inferior vena cava. This will carry blood from the trunk and the lower part of your body. It will carry blood to the heart. So we have superior and inferior vena cava. Generally, we say vena cava. Vena cava will carry blood, deoxygenated, rich in carbon dioxide, poor in oxygen, from all of your body cells, from your body parts, the top and the lower part of your body, and will carry it to the, this is vein, it will carry it to the atrium. It will carry it to the right atrium. And from right atrium to the right ventricle.
From the head, neck, upper limbs, and chest. Meanwhile, the inferior vena cava receives blood from the trunk, viscera, and lower limbs. Both the superior and inferior vena cava end up in the right atrium.
So, vena cava, superior and inferior, will end up in the right atrium. So, the right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from all body parts through the vena cava, or the veins, which is called vena cava.
One of the four chambers of the heart.
This is the first chamber of four chambers: right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. We have four chambers. This is the first one. Right ventricle, right atrium receives blood from all body parts through vena cava.
The heart not only has four chambers, it also has four valves.
These are four valves in the heart. This is the first one. It's called the tricuspid or triparts. One part, second part, third part. 1, 2, 3, third parts. That's why we call it tricuspid valve between right atrium and right ventricle. This valve consists of three parts. We call it tricuspid or tripartite valve, tricuspid valve. It's separated between right atrium and right ventricle. The benefit of any valve, it will keep the blood moving in the right direction, in one direction, and not going back in the reverse direction. So this valve between the right atrium and the right ventricle will make sure that the blood will move in the right direction from the right atrium to the right ventricle, not in the opposite direction, not in the opposite direction. It's like a faucet or a tap that make the blood moves in one direction. And this one between the right atrium and the right ventricle, we call it tricuspid valve.
The purpose of the valves is to keep blood moving in the right direction and not flow backwards. Blood exits the right atrium through.
So the blood will exit the right atrium to the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. And they say tri means the three. Cuspid, three parts. So atrium and right ventricle.
The tricuspid valve, so called because it has three flaps, and enters the right ventricle. The blood exits the right ventricle through the pulmonary.
Then the blood will leave the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery. Again, this is artery, but this is vein. Why this is vein? Because it carries blood to the heart. But vein, this artery will carry blood to the lungs. We call it pulmonary artery, pulmonary artery. So the blood will leave the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery through another valve. It's called pulmonary valve. This pulmonary valve separate between the ventricle, right ventricle, and the pulmonary artery. This artery will carry deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Let's continue.
Valve and enters the pulmonary artery. Again, it is an artery because blood is flowing away from the heart, but it is blue because it lacks oxygen. The pulmonary artery then splits into the left and right pulmonary arteries, which go to each respective lung. In the lungs.
So pulmonary artery, it's called the artery because it will carry the blood away from the heart. And it's blue because it carries deoxygenated blood or blood poor in oxygen. Then it will branch into two branches here. It will branch into two branches. Left pulmonary artery will go to the left lung, and right pulmonary artery to the right lung. So it will go to the lung. And the last, why this artery will carry blood to the lungs? Who knows? What will happen in the lungs? Who can answer me, guys? Why pulmonary artery will carry blood to the lungs? What for? What is the reason?
Again?
Can I answer?
Mister,
I'll
I
say the
can't
question.
hear you well.
I'll say the question again. Pulmonary artery, this blue one, carry the blood from the heart to lungs. Why? Why this pulmonary artery carry the blood from the right ventricle to the lungs? What is the reason? What will happen in the lungs?
Mister,
Who can
Can
to
I
breathe,
answer?
Hey?
Mister, to breathe.
Mister,
Yes.
to get rid of carbon dioxide
Yes,
and
to
waste.
discard. Yes. No, not waste. To discards, or to discard carbon dioxide and take in oxygen.
Okay.
To release carbon dioxide and take in oxygen to exchange gases, because it's rich in carbon dioxide and the blood need oxygen. So pulmonary artery will carry blood from the right ventricle to the lungs to exchange gases.
Gas exchange discards carbon dioxide and picks up oxygen. Now, blood comes back from the lungs through
After exchange of gases, after discarding carbon dioxide and gaining oxygen, the pulmonary artery, the blood will gather from the lungs and come back to the heart through veins. We call it pulmonary veins. So pulmonary artery carry the blood away from the heart. Pulmonary veins will carry the blood from the lungs to the heart. Artery carry the blood from the heart. Pulmonary artery carry the blood from the heart to the lungs, as you see, and from the lungs, the veins will gather and come to the heart through pulmonary veins. We have 4 branches, as you see, 4 pulmonary, and it's red because it carries blood rich in oxygen. All pulmonary veins, this one go from the back here, and this 2 pulmonary veins, all of the 4 will deliver oxygenated blood to the heart into the left atrium. So the 4 pulmonary veins, as you see here, will deliver blood to the left atrium here, in the left side of the heart.
the pulmonary veins, entering the left atrium.
Pulmonary veins will enter the left atrium. The blood rich in oxygen will enter the left atrium.
Next, the blood is pumped into the left.
The blood is pumped into the left ventricle. The blood is pumped into the left ventricle from the left atrium through the valve, this valve, which is called the mitral valve or bicuspid valve, biflaps, biparts. It consists only of 2 flaps. So we call it bicuspid valve, not tricuspid. This is bicuspid or mitral valve. Mitral valve separate between the left atrium and left ventricle. Left ventricle, when it contracts, it will push blood rich in oxygen to the aorta. To the aorta. Aorta will carry the blood for all of your body parts. So the blood comes from the lungs through pulmonary vein, enter the left atrium, from the left atrium to the left ventricle through the mitral valve, and from the ventricle to the aorta. The aorta will carry the blood to your all body parts.
Left ventricle through the mitral or bicuspid valve. Finally, the oxygenated blood leaves the left ventricle through the aortic semilunar valve, entering the aortic arch.
This is the last valve that separates between the left ventricle and the aorta or aortic arch. The aortic arch or the aorta artery and left ventricle, there is valve between them. It's called aortic semilunar valve. Never mind with the name, but it's a valve separates between left ventricle and aorta, and makes sure that the blood will move from the left ventricle to the aorta, not in the opposite direction. This is the benefit of all the valves. We have 4 chambers and 4 valves. The benefit of all valves to make sure that the blood is moving in the right direction and only one direction, not in the opposite direction.
The aorta, which is the largest of all the arteries, distributes the oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. The aortic arch has 3 major branches, which supply the head and arms with blood.
So 3 major arms that will supply head. This one supply head, and this supply arm, and this supply another arm. 3 branches from the aorta that will supply arms and the brain with blood.
Then the aorta curls downward behind the heart, forming the descending aorta, which
crawls down from behind the heart and forming descending aorta that will deliver blood to the rest of the body, trunk and the lower part of your body.
Descends through the chest and continues down through the abdomen. In the abdomen, the descending aorta splits to supply the pelvis and legs with blood.
If you like the
So that was the blood circulation and the heart.
Sir, can you repeat it from minute 2 and 7 second?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can repeat.
Yes. I see like words. No, just the sentence, the last sentence.
the beginning.
You mean here?
Mister, can you do from the beginning?
Yes.
I will make
Okay,
it play
Mr.
from the beginning without stopping. Okay, stop. I will play
Okay.
it all from the beginning. Stop talking.
Veins are blood vessels containing blood flowing to the heart, while arteries have blood flowing from the heart. The blue is representative of blood vessels containing deoxygenated blood, while the red blood vessels have oxygenated blood fresh from the lungs. Now, let's follow the path of the blood through the heart. The superior vena cava receives blood from the head, neck, upper limbs, and chest. Meanwhile, the inferior vena cava receives blood from the trunk, viscera, and lower.
I want you to notice one thing when you listen to this, that the two processes or pumping blood, the blue and red, as you see here, happens at the same time, simultaneously. Okay, not one after one. They happen at the same time. You see, the blood, this is relaxes, the blood enters the atrium. When the blood contracts, the blood leaves the ventricles. And this happens at the same time, all the time.
Lower limbs. Both the superior and inferior vena cava end up in the right atrium, one of the 4 chambers of the heart. The heart not only has 4 chambers, it also has 4 valves. The purpose of the valves is to keep blood moving in the right direction and not flow backwards. Blood exits the right atrium through the tricuspid valve, so called because it has 3 flaps, and enters the right ventricle. The blood exits the right ventricle through the pulmonary valve and enters the pulmonary artery. Again, it is an artery because blood is flowing away from the heart, but it is blue.
What? What do you want? Don't interrupt the video. Do you see? Do you listen to the audio? Do you hear the audio? Are you able to hear it?
And enters the pulmonary artery. Again, it is an artery because blood is flowing away from the heart, but it is blue because it lacks oxygen. The pulmonary artery then splits into the left and right pulmonary arteries, which go to each respective lung. In the lungs, gas exchange occurs. The blood discards carbon dioxide.
No, mister, I am lagging. I am
Now, blood comes back from the lungs through the pulmonary vein,
lagging.
entering the left atrium. Next, the blood is pumped into the left ventricle through the mitral or bicuspid valve. Finally, the oxygenated blood leaves the left ventricle through the aortic semilunar valve, entering the aortic arch. The aorta, which is the largest of all the arteries, distributes the oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. The aortic arch has 3 major branches, which supply the head and arms with blood. Then the aorta curls downward behind the heart, forming the descending aorta, which descends through the chest and continues down through the abdomen. In the abdomen, the descending aorta splits to supply the pelvis and legs with blood.
if you
So this was the video. We will go to the
The sentence, just to take a picture.
what sentence?
Yes. Go here. No. There's a 8 sentence.
I will send the video. I will send the video later.
Okay.
Later. That. Okay, let's go here. And let me pick someone to read.
Can I read, Mister?
Abdurrahman. Who's talking? Abdurrahman Al-Hajji first, and then the next one will take Abdurrahman.
yes.
Okay.
Read the first.
Can I read?
Okay, later. After Abdurrahman Al-Fahd, no problem.
Circulatory system. Ants, such as the ones in figure 1, are known for cooperating to transport food to their colonies. Your body has a similar system that transports nutrients and other life-sustaining resources. It is called the circulatory system, and it includes the cardiovascular system and lymphatic system. In addition to bringing nutrients and oxygen to the cells, the circulatory system also removes waste products and helps to fight tough diseases and infection.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. Circulatory system includes two systems: cardiovascular system, this is one, and lymphatic system, this is two. We'll talk about them. Cardiovascular, the one that we just explained, the blood and the heart and the blood vessels and the blood, this is cardiovascular. Lymphatic consists of lymphs. We'll talk about it later. In addition
Mr.
to...
Can you explain this that we explained another time, because I don't remember it.
What we want to explain it?
The
cardiovascular system, the heart, just this one that we just explained it here, the heart. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Lymphatic system, we didn't take it yet. We'll talk about it later.
What?
In addition to bringing nutrients and oxygen, this is the function of the cardiovascular system or circulatory. This is the first function.
Mister, I didn't understand. What is the cardiovascular system?
Cardiovascular means the heart, the blood vessels.
The heart, not the circulatory system.
Circulatory system has two systems.
The circulatory and the cardiovascular.
Yes, lymphatic
Okay.
and the cardiovascular. That's it.
Three. Okay.
The circulatory system also removes waste. This is the second job. Waste products. This is the second job. Let's make it like this. And the third job helps to fight diseases and infections. So the circulatory system has three jobs: bringing nutrients and oxygen to cells, remove wastes, fight diseases. Three jobs. Let's listen to cardiovascular system.
Circulatory system. An organ system that transports needed materials to cells and removes wastes. Circulatory.
So circulatory system, this is a function of it: carry or bring needed material for cells and carry off wastes and also fight diseases. The main structure of the circulatory system. الفهد Ismail, you want to read? الفهد?
Yes.
Let me bring
Here.
your name. What is it? What is the الفهد Ismail?
Yes.
Okay. Read the second paragraph here, Fahd.
The main structure of circulatory system is the heart. The fist-sized organ has the never-ending job of pumping blood around the body. The heart is a muscle that contracts and relaxes constantly in order to do its job. Your heart beats around 100,000 times every day. Blood moves from the heart to the lungs and then back to the heart again. Before it is transported out to the body, blood moving through the vessels always for the exchange of gases and brings nutrients to all the cells. From this season, blood is often called the river of life.
Okay, thank you, Fahd. So the main structure in the circulatory system is the heart. We explained it. It's a fist-sized organ. It's in the same size of your fist. The heart is a muscle that contracts and relaxes constantly in order to do its job. It beats around 100,000 times a day. Blood moves from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart again. This is one loop. And before it transported to the body, blood moving through the vessels allows the exchange. We have explained that. It's talking about the blood circulation, and we have talked about it. We'll talk about it later too. So that's enough here. Let me pick someone here. It will be Hassan Al-Bish for you.
No, محمد الهلال.
Muhammad Al-Hilal. Correct.
Okay.
Okay, Muhammad, read this part. The cardio, the first paragraph only. The cardiovascular system.
I don't see. Wait, mister.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Okay. The part of the circulatory system that pump blood throughout the body is the cardiovascular system. In this system, the heart pump blood through the body using the virus blood vessel start on the right side.
Okay, cardiovascular system is this system. The heart pumps blood throughout the body using the various blood vessels. So this is that will explain it. The video that we see it here is cardiovascular system. The heart here is cardiovascular system. Okay, this is the definition of it. It carries blood throughout the body. Thank you. Let me pick someone else to read. Let's go for نواف. عمار العثان ولا عمار وات؟ خليفة بعد عمار. اوكي. read عمار. Okay, problem. All of you read that. عمار read.
Blood travels from the lungs to the left atrium down to the left ventricle. It then takes nutrients and oxygen to the cells of the body where it picks up waste products such as carbon dioxide. The blood returns through the right atrium. It goes down to the right ventricle and up to the lungs where gas is exchanged. Then the process starts all over again.
So it's talking about the blood circulation. Thank you, Ammar. Blood circulation that we explained it here. We have explained it. Yes, go. We have explained it. Yes, yes, go. Okay, I will pick someone else to read here. أحمد not أحمد عادل. طيب عبد العزيز السلطان.
Yes, mister.
عبد العزيز, read this part. Read this paragraph.
I came.
Later, after him, later.
This contains process of pumping blood in the
What, Kazim?
I can't see anything, mister.
I will share with you, Kazim. Can you see right now? Continue to read. Who's reading? Continue to read. This continuous process.
Okay, this contains process of pumping blood in the double loop system, as shown in figure 3. In the loop, the blood travels from the heart to the lungs, and then back to the heart. On loop 2, the oxygenated blood moves from the heart out to the body, and deoxygenated blood is returned to the heart. Specialized celled red blood cells.
No, stop.
Okay.
That's enough. And this paragraph is talking about that we can divide the blood circulation that we explained it previously into two loops. So the blood circulation is double loop system. The first loop or minor blood circulation is between the heart and lungs from here. From the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery to the lungs, then come back to the heart through the pulmonary veins. Okay, guys? So this is the first loop. Heart, artery, pulmonary artery, then go to the lungs. The blood will exchange from deoxygenated from blue into red, from deoxygenated into oxygenated. Then it will come back again to the heart and enter the heart through the pulmonary veins. This is called the number one. Loop number two will start from the left ventricle to the aorta, and then the aorta will distribute the blood to all body cells. Well, it will deliver oxygen and nutrients. Then the blood will gather from all body cells and enter the heart again to the right atrium. So this is the major blood circulation, or the loop number two. We can think of the blood circulation into loop between heart and lungs, and loop between heart and all body parts. Heart and lungs will start like this: pulmonary artery, lungs, then heart again. And the second loop between heart, aorta, all body cells, from all body cells through the veins, heart through vena cava. So we have two loops here: loop number one and loop number two, that we have what we have explained before. Last one, specialized cells. Ali Suhail.
Mr. I complete reading.
Ali Suhail here, Mr.
Read Ali, the last paragraph. Yes.
The last paragraph. Special cells called red blood cells play a key role. Mr. I can't see you. Put your finger. You put mouse. Sir.
Remove it.
Okay. Special cells called red blood cells play a key role in transporting oxygen throughout the body. They take up oxygen in the lungs and deliver it to cells throughout the body. Red blood cells also absorb carbon dioxide in the body and transport it to the lungs, where it is released from the body.
So in this paragraph, he's talking about red blood cells. Red blood cells keeping a key role in transporting oxygen. They take up oxygen in the lungs and deliver it to cells throughout the body. So they take up oxygen from the lungs and deliver it to cells throughout the body. This is the first job. And also red blood cells absorb carbon dioxide in the body and they transport it to the lungs. So it play a key role in exchanging of gases. This is called red blood cells. So the most thing here that your circulatory system or blood circulation consists of two major loops. Loop number one, the blood travels from the heart to the lungs and then to the heart again. In loop two, the oxygenated blood moves from the heart out to the body through aorta, and the oxygenated blood is returned to the heart through the vena cava. Okay, guys. So let's see. That's enough for today. Right now, I'm going to give you a quiz. Let me stop here.
Mr. Always the quizzes that you give us, it's 19 questions, and we don't do them, all of them.
I give you 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes till the end of the session.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
بقرا.
We have finished reading. We'll take a quiz right now. I've sent the link. I've sent the link of the quiz, and I'll also send the pen.
Master.
Yes.
Start the test.
Okay. That's it.
Mister, I haven't the chat. Mister, I am Tom. I haven't the
pen.
I
The pen in front
haven't
of you.
chat.
770019. That's it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll take the absence right now.
Teacher, can you send it again? Because I logged out and entered again, so because I don't have the chatting box.
Okay. I've sent the link again. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too. I will continue with the names just to finish absence. Ahmed Adil is here. Ahmed Adil.
Mister, I
Baby.
am here. I am here.
Hamoud is here. Hamoud.
Yes.
Hassan Al-Bishr. Hussein Al-Gambar.
Mister, I am here, but I was late answering because I was in the quiz page.
Okay. Hussein here. Hussein Al-Gambar.
Mister, again, what's the code?
77019. Hussein absent. Khalifa is here. Mahmoud Maher Abu Ghazala. Malik.
Yes. Yes, Mister.
Yes, Mahmoud or Malik?
Mahmoud.
Malik is here.
Yes.
Okay. Muhammad Hashim.
Mr. Mahmoud.
I know. I put you present. Muhammad Hashim. Muhammad Hashim. Nawaf.
Yes, Mister.
Nawaf. Rakan Ruwashid.
Yes, Mister.
Yes, Nawaf or Rakan?
No, I am Rakan.
Okay. Salim. Salim Abdullah Salim. Sufyan.
Yes, Mister.
Turki Nasser.
I'm here.
Here.
Okay. Jason is here. Muhammad Buzbeh.
Here.
Ahmad Anwar Mehesh. Ahmad Anwar. Okay, Ahmad Anwar. So continue with the quiz, guys. So finish it.
Mister, what is the link?
I have sent the link, or use the pen 770019.
Mister, say the code again.
770019 in front of you.
Mister, there is so many things we don't take it.
We'll check it later, no problem. No problem if you make mistake. We didn't finish the lesson, we just started the lesson.
I did a lot of mistakes, Mister.
Repeat it again.
Mister, if I finish, I go out.
No, wait.
Mister, can I repeat the quiz?
Yes. Mute your mic. Mute your mics.